Everything we deal with must be on record. And Governor, I know you very well, so I'm just pushing my case on public interest approach. In your management response, you have not mentioned even one line where you are telling this committee that you are taking disciplinary action against the people involved. Chairman, if you read from bullet 1 all the way to the second page, there is nowhere where you have mentioned that you are taking disciplinary action. And that was my concern. The second issue, there is nowhere you have made any mention that this matter has been reported to the ESCC or to DCI for criminal sanctions to follow. If you have looked at your management response.
The process of disciplining them using the due process, because if you cut corners or if you move very fast, they will rush to court sometimes. And although on the face of it, they are the ones in the wrong, you may find the courts may not agree with you. So that's the reason why we want to follow due process. But eventually we'll get there.
There was a question that Senator Maruma had asked which you have not responded to, which can help us.
Yeah, the circumstances which lead you to collect cash, that is number one. Why haven't you digitalized your revenue collection? Number two, where are these fellows working now?
To Maurice Thomas. Now, if all of us are there, then it would appear like we are dealing with a systemic problem in the county government of Kitui, and not necessarily a problem that was only found in the previous administration. Why do I say this, Chair? If you look at that letter addressed to Maurice Thomas, this is one who has failed to surrender 665,444 shillings that he has accumulated. And then the only time that we realize you have not been banking is 2024. So what does it mean? That you are on your own, collect, you bank, you don't bank, but one day we'll check what's happening?
Actually, Governor, we were together at the Revolution Conference, and one of the presentations by your colleagues was the Muranga system, where Governor Kangata showed us, he could tell us at the hospitals, this is the amount I've collected today, diagnosis, you know, that kind of dashboard and visibility, which ties to the question raised by Senator Marum. I mean, to what extent, what are the efficiencies? What's the automation? What's the visualization? Do you have it? Today, Governor Malombe, if you wanted to know how much was collected from your hospitals on a dashboard somewhere, or you have to call your revenue collectors to make a report?
Allow me, Chair, I ask the Minister to respond to that. He was also in Omabe.
Okay, I hope he was working, not just eating fish.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we do not have a visible dashboard right now because we have automated independent streams. Now, we in the process of purchasing a revenue system, which is going to integrate all our 72 streams of revenue. So even as we talking about the automation, yes, they are there, but we don't have a visible dashboard.
You've never had a system from 2013, the second governor to date. There's never been an automated system for revenue collection in Kitui.
It has been there, but it's
M-Pesa pay bill is not an automated system.
Yeah, we have a revenue system, Chair, but it is not integrated with the individual streams, and that is what we are working on right now.
So, OAG, we have said this before. When you're doing your ROR statement, I think you need an assessment of the system's environment. It was not in this report at all. So we have no visibility on the kind of systems they're using, and I think that should come under controls. Patrick, I hope that message has gone out to the auditors.
It has been marked with them, Chair, and it has formed part of our subject matters in this current year's audit.
Yeah, because without that visibility and dashboard, so Governor, you have pointed us to the ROR report. Could you tell us why in that financial year your hospital fees dropped by 10 million? One would have expected that greater efficiencies, tightening controls, and the trend generally across counties is that the hospital fees keep growing. Why was there a drop from 274 million to 264 million? Is this symptomatic of the systemic issues where people are collecting and pocketing?
Chair, let me not respond directly. I have a CEO here from Ministry of Health, and that's the reason why I brought them. I want them to also respond to the issues. Can the CEO in charge of medical please?
Yeah, and this is why it's important that you have a dashboard as a CEO, because those CEOs will run circles around you. Did you know that your hospital collections reduced by 10 million that financial year?
I must be honest, I did not know that, but I know the collection from our hospitals has gone up substantially.
Now, here it went down by 10 million. What would be the explanation?
Let's hear from the CEO from Health.
And all this is in your receiver revenue statements. We are not making up figures.
Yeah. Are you able to do that, or we ask CEO of Finance?
I can do that, eh?
Yeah, okay.
You know the right person to answer this is the receiver of revenue.
The receiver.
That is the owner of this report. Who's the receiver of revenue? Yes, receiver of revenue. Why was there a 10 million drop in hospital fees? The governor believes that the collections have gone up, but it dropped by 10 million.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The reason why it dropped is because the revenue is recorded on cash basis. At this time, the NHIF had not paid the services we had offered. So the problem was that. And this financial year, they paid some amount before it went to SHA. So the problem was the NHIF.
How much was the NHIF rebate?
121.
121
million.
So your own source revenue is understated by 121 million?
No. That is what was the accumulative, the money they had not paid. But before the end of the financial year, they had paid some amount, I think 84 million. So they around 10 million, which was pending the payment.
But YG, that ought to have been an audit query, that there was revenue due that was not reflected.
No, this cash basis. The revenue is accounted on cash basis, not on accrual. Chair.
Was the money due in that financial year?
It was. It was.
Remember, the next limp is the 1 billion in form of revenue arrears, which you are coming to. So, Auditor General, does that explain why there was a 10 million drop in hospital fees? Because without records, we will take it as speculation.
Chair, I think I'll have to look at it critically so that I give an information.
Please examine it, because we are not going to take the oral submission of your chief officer. He's not on oath. But we suspect that there's a systemic problem. There's theft of on-source revenue or collections in Kitui County. And Governor, you must make it a priority to automate and have a proper dashboard. You sitting as CEO, you should be able to tell what is flowing into the county coffers. Senator Mbor?
Chair, maybe just a recommendation to the governor as well, as you have said. I know that, Governor, you get the feeling, because I do, that in terms of on-source revenue, the county government of Kitui could perhaps be doing a lot better. But it seems there's a lot of wastage. There's a lot of money collected on behalf of the county, but not getting to the county accounts. Automation will be one thing, which is urgent, but I also think the right message sent to the revenue officers would also help the county. And this, what we have here on record, is not the right message. The message that you are sending to your revenue officers here is, guys, you can go collect money. You know the law says you should remit. If you don't remit and we catch up with you 2 years later, we shall surcharge you for infinity. Because now you see people are getting zero salary. And I also don't know, Governor, how do you actually, and I need to ask that, how do you then even balance that surcharging with the provisions of Section 19(3) of the Employment Act on the third salary rule? You see, by your own action, this is a member of staff who is getting zero. Yeah? Because you have decided to surcharge and recover your money. But the law says they cannot earn less than a third of their gross. So I don't know how you balance that. Perhaps you could hear from the Governor. Thank you.
Okay, quick response, Governor. We need to move on. Yes?
Governor, sorry, Chair, we are advised on having an integrated financial system where at the touch of a button you can see what each stream is bringing in per day. But if somebody is determined to steal, they may not post that. So if you are Governor, either Kangata or Malombe sitting somewhere, what you will be seeing in the dashboard is just what has been posted there, not necessarily what has been collected. So what we need to do, in my view, is deal with these issues of integrity. When we track and find something is being done the wrong way, we take swift action, and I'm advised. Maybe here it has taken longer than it should, and it's sending the wrong message, and we need to do something about it. But maybe there is a question which my senator had asked earlier about what we are doing to make sure money is not just collected and is not banked. Maybe we need to hear that from the chief officer, because I don't think as of now or of late that's happening. What happened in 2019 or 2021 in the case of Morris. There are systems which have been put in place to ensure whatever is collected is remitted. Maybe Chief Officer, just on that, what we are doing.
No, Governor, the evidence before us makes that request not necessary, because the surrender notice to Maurice Thomas indicates that unbanked revenue of 665 million has been accumulating from 2021 to 2024. 2021 to 2024 means that it is still a problem. So it is the Auditor General who's going to give us that assurance. Now, very quickly to the next limb of the question, who owes you 1 billion? Do you have a schedule?
Yeah, the people who hold that 1 billion are rate payers.
Do you have that schedule?
Yeah, and that schedule is available. Do we have the schedule attached, or the other people? Is there in the receiver of revenue report?
Yeah, because we are dealing, in these questions, we are dealing with all the issues raised in the receiver of revenue. I think at the end of this, will have been done with the ROR report.
Yeah.
Do you have visibility on those who owe you 1.098 billion?
Yeah, just
Yes,
let my chief officer respond.
So what is the challenge in collecting?
The challenge is there is so much duplication after the de facto local authorities when they were brought together as one entity as a county. There is a lot of duplication of plots. And the other thing is the identification of those plots. You could not identify who was. One plot could have 5 or 3 owners.
But you went through the County Assets and Liability Verification Committee, and a report was prepared and sent to IBEC. Are you doing a fresh audit, Governor? In the last term, perhaps you are not in office then, but I sat in this chair going through the reports of County Assets and Liability Verification Committees, which was conclusive. Why would you say that there is still confusion?
Let me hear from the Chief Officer again about that.
Chief Officer, why are you introducing confusion in a very clear manner?
Chair, can I read the management response?
It is 4:30, and I want you to respond directly to the questions. Did Kitui submit an Assets and Liability Verification Committee report?
Yes, Chair.
And it was a very comprehensive exercise. There was a gazette notice. The teams at county level included national government, county government, valuers, surveyors. It was a very, very comprehensive exercise. What is it that you're doing afresh, having gone through that painful exercise?
Chair, I think the matter regarding the plots and the lands which are owned by the 4 de facto municipalities and county councils and town council, there was the amount was not really 1 billion. That amount has also an arrears interest on the.
CEO, you are talking about duplication in land.
Yes.
Do you agree that you have an assets and liabilities report that has been, in fact, I think it was taken through the county assemblies. It was taken through county assemblies before it went to IBEC. Was there anyone who was in the last assembly in this delegation?
Chair, yes, Chair, I was in the last assembly.
You were in the assembly?
Yes.
In what role?
I was the majority leader.
Did you move a motion for adoption of the county assets and liability verification?
Not in Kitui County Assembly. And Chair, we agree that the report went to IBEC, but it was returned to the Department of ITRGC, and it has never been available to us for the conclusion, Chair, you are asking us.
So what's your recommendation, Governor? Because we can't be using public resources on an endless exercise.
Yeah, we constituted a data and information collection team to collect accurately the data relating to plots in our urban areas. And we are at the tail end of really finalizing that particular report. And we think that will help us a lot in this process. But if there is such a report and you hear the then majority leader never saw it, I don't know whether our current MCAs ever saw one or anyone. We will look for it. And
would it be fair to tell Senator Wambua that next time he's lobbying us for Kitui to get more money, we shouldn't, because you've got 1 billion low-hanging fruit somewhere, which you can access?
Rates, payment of rates, even when you give waivers, you collect, and we have seen many counties, Kiambu, Mombasa, many others, and even ourselves, you give some waivers.
The waiver is on interest, not on principle.
Yeah, it's on interest, it's not on principle. So when you come in and the accumulation is huge, you'll be really hoping for the best if you expect to collect
what is
a
the
huge
list
amount.
of the defaulters?
Yeah, the
And
list.
how much out of this 1.089 million, a billion, constitutes the principal, and how much constitutes the interest? Is it possible to know that?
Yeah, the chief officer can respond to that. Or do you have the chief officer for Urban? Did he come? Oh, chief officer, Finance, do you have that information? If we don't have, we just admit we put it together. But I know it's there.
Chief Officer?
I think we have the evaluation run, which was to showing the plots which they have not been paid. And the chair, what I've said is about the duplication. The system which is used during the facto local authorities, it was that system that was left in the bindle. It was not fully developed. So the plots were kept being posted, and you will find that a small area like 1 acre, you find like over 20 plots. So the plots who are the people who are posting and who are capturing the data for the plots.
Do you therefore dispute the 1 billion?
Yeah, because one thing, for example, Chair, you will see that we have shown the counts of plots which are the amount which are duplicated, about that 62 million of the plots which are duplicated.
So in your assessment, what is the outstanding arrears? What is uncollected arrears? Because we need to deal with a precise figure. This is numbers, this is not politics.
Sure, it will be less than 50% of this because we are implementing the LIMS, the lands information management system.
Isn't it a requirement for them to declare in their financial statements, maybe as a note, some of these arrears under the current reporting standard?
Yes, Chair. They're actually going on accrual, and it will be very important for them to declare. And just to confirm what he's saying, I actually saw what they provided, and there was quite a number of duplication. And my advice was they go and clean up that data. Thank you.
Yes, Central West.
So there is an admission that there is a duplication, and perhaps the figures that we are seeing are not the right figures. At what point, my brother Bwana CEO, at what point do you think you will start the cleaning up, or who is supposed to clean up?
I've started cleaning up because we are procuring the lands information management system. Now we are reposting one by one.
You see, yes. I think that for me, Chair, I think then that would be the wrong approach or maybe response, because a system is just a system. You feed a system. Garbage in, garbage out. It's what you feed it. It's not like because you automate, then it just comes in and it clears everything for you. It's what you feed into it. So even when the system comes, it will be fed with the right data. So before you feed the system, you must have cleaned up your data. So you cannot say that you are in the process of cleaning up because you are procuring a digital system. A digital system must come and find clean data, feed clean data to it, get clean results.
That's correct. Now, we must make progress. On this outstanding arrears, OAG, we agree, keep this in view. I don't know whether you have concluded, you have done your exit.
Chair, we are yet to do the final audit.
You are yet to do the final audit.
Yes.
So please make sure that this is a subject of the audit. They must provide the necessary documentation and reconciliation. But on the matter of the 2.2 million that was collected and not banked, I think we'll give very adverse recommendations. The PFM has given that power. It is a receiver of revenue to manage the collectors of revenue. And where there's a failure in collection and banking of revenue, the person who takes ultimate responsibility is the receiver of revenue. And we are going to make very adverse recommendations on the receiver of revenue, because whereas it is 2.2 million, we have already demonstrated that that is money collected from 100,000 boda bodas or 35,000 dengu sellers. It might be small to the ruling class because you're used to big amounts of money, but it's significant to the people at the bottom of the pyramid. And this is a matter that perhaps we'll try to find out from EACC how to ensure that those who collected the money and did not remit, action is taken against them. These cannot be handled like imprest. This is not imprest. And you have not answered the question why you are handling this as imprest. Because all the documents you have tendered, the header is imprest recovery. This is not imprest. So EACC, this is work for us to do. When it comes to automation, the CEO, you have a responsibility to drive the vision of the organization. So we will also make certain observations, but we would advise that push and get people who understand that space. As you said, the dashboard shows what has been fed in, but it does not have to be fed in manually. If the touch point is electronic, then there is no manual intervention in between. You must whip your receiver of revenue to make sure that Kitui is doing the right things. And then on hospital fees, OAG, please also give us an assurance on why there was that drop of 10 million, because I still do not, I don't buy what the chief officer is explaining. Those were the various issues that were raised in the receiver of revenue report. I think we have done cross-referencing. Whatever was remaining on ROR, failure to bank revenue collected, we have dealt with that. Then there was the issue of unsupported revenue from parking fees. Auditor, was that still outstanding, the unsupported revenue?
Yes, Chair, it was.
And it still is outstanding?
Yes, Chair.
Was there a response to that? What was the concern? Was it underdeclared, or they collected 17 but there was no schedule to support the 17?
The support is what was missing.
This is straightforward, Governor. Can you confirm that you've got a schedule supporting the 17 million? This one, it's either there or it's not there.
Chief Officer, there is a table.
Is there a supporting schedule for the 17 million?
Yes, Chair.
Where is it?
You'll see it's an attachment of, we have attachment number 1, 2, 3.
That's
5,
which annexure?
Yes.
Is it in the ROR bundle?
2, ROR. Oh, no, ROR.
So you have annexures labeled 1.1,
Yes.
2.1, 2.2. Which one is it?
Chair, it's number 2, on number 2, divider number 2. Then after the response, you'll see an attachment with the 1 page, Ministry of Lands, Housing, Urban Development, report on marking of parking slots and within the Kitui CBD.
So where is that particular schedule? I believe it's a table that
Yes.
that adds up to 17.1 million.
No, the question, Chair, if I may read the...
We have the question.
Yes.
The supporting schedules showing the details of parking spaces
Annex
which form
6.
the revenue generation were not provided for audit review. So just give us the supporting schedule showing the details of parking spaces.
It's number, Chair, you see there is a memo, Ministry of Lands, Housing, Urban Development.
Why can't you lead us
municipality.
to the annex, Chair?
The annex here is one
Then
on
give us the page. Is it 2.1, 2.2?
no, 2, it's 2, the annex,
Where number 2?
yes.
Is parking fees automated or it's also cash?
No, it's automated, we have the
It's
POS.
automated?
Yes. So we are being asked to show the parking slots, which was 195 parking slots.
So, for example, if it is Biashara Street, how much did you collect out for Biashara Street? I thought when you provide the schedule, you must also indicate the revenue to total to the 17 million.
The question.
Auditor General, are we asking for something you didn't ask for?
Chair, you are very right, because when they're providing the schedule, we need to know how much they're charging per slot, so that at the end of it all, it totals to the 17 million. Thank you.
So if it's automated, that's just something, a click of the button. And you say, Kilunjia Street, we have 8 parking slots, we generated 200,000, simple as that, and we proceed. Because if you don't provide that, then it lends credence to the assertion that you are collecting and pocketing. Governor, this is a simple thing. You've collected 17 million, just show us where it came from. If you can't show us where it came from, then we imagine that maybe you collected 50 million and reported 17.
Okay. Agreed, Chair. If you look at that schedule which was being talked about, it shows the number of parking slots, the size, and the streets where they are.
But does that tell us anything?
Yeah.
One slot can accommodate 2 cars, isn't it? In a day,
it's
or
true.
3 cars.
In here, we needed to see how much it charged per car.
Yes,
or
that's what the
period,
Auditor General asked.
so forth and so on.
That's what we are asking.
Yeah. So,
the audit query was not on the number of parking slots. It was on the 17 million collected from the parking slots.
yeah.
So the response should have been from Kilunja Street. We collected 500,000. From Biashara Street, 3,000 shillings. Because what we have here is just number of slots and the area they cover. No reference to any single cent collected from it.
And we know, Governor, we've been around, even you've been around since 2013. You know what happens in counties. Some of these towns and cities, you find a street is owned by, in some cities, MCA's own streets. They are the ones who collect parking. Or streets have been allocated to tough boys in the town. You might find in this city that Kenyatta Avenue maybe is generating less revenue than Kijabe Street. And maybe that's why you have chosen not to provide that information.